Here's how to make histograms for you ti-84 users. Here's our president's data. Hopefully you still have yours in your calculator. I had labeled mine Pres, so that's what I'm going to go with. Now to create a histogram, we want to go into our stat plot. All right, so second y equals, then press enter. We want to make sure we're turning it on, or the highlighted flashing light is now highlighted. Now here, there's the scatter plot that we've been using right here. So yours might be, let me arrow down. Yours might be highlighted on this, but you want to arrow over to the third one, which shows a histogram, and press enter. Then arrow down. If your data is in L1, remember that's your default list, you can just go ahead and press enter. If not, if you actually named it something, it will be over here in your list group. So if you do second stat, it'll give you list. Notice above it, it says list in blue. And there's your typical L1, L2, L3. But if you made any lists like I did, it will be in there. So you can either press 7 or arrow down to 7 and press enter. And you want the frequency, every data value to represent 1. And then you can choose the color of your choice. Go ahead and press zoom 9 for zoom stat. And there is your histogram. Now what you can notice with it, if I go to trace, it will flash a light in my first bar. And if we can see, let me see if I can shift this down a little bit so you guys can see it, that here it's saying this bar represents equal to 42, but less than or equal to 46.666, and the number of members or presidents that are 42 years of age and less than 46.6 is 4. And we can now toggle over, right, press the arrow over, and you can see these other bars. This is 51.3 years of age and less than 56. If you want to change it to fit our values, go to Window. We had our president's ages started at 40. Press enter. The maximum, we should be somewhere above 70, so 74 is fine. But right here where the X scale is, that's going to be how wide your bins are. So if we want them to be 10, just go ahead and type in 10 and press enter. Now, don't do zoom 9 again because that will go back to the dimensions that were there before. Just go ahead and press graph. Here now are our bins. We might want to, obviously we're not seeing enough here, so I might go into my window and make my Y maximum much higher. Maybe, I can't remember how many there are. I might go up to 25 and press graph, and there's our data. If I now press trace, I can see this bar is equal to 40 but less than 50. There's 9. Equal to 50 but less than 60. Equal to 60 less than 70, and there's Trump over there at that very last one, which is somewhat cut off here. If I wanted to change it to 5, go back to Window, and now make your scale not 10, but 5. You probably don't need as much of a Y height, but I'm going to go ahead and press graph, and there is our data. And you get a pretty good picture of a nice, it's fairly symmetric. There's a slight maybe skewness over here, and that we will talk about if you haven't watched the video in terms of your socks. So that's how you make a histogram using the ti-84.